Hello, my name is Aiden Dork, and I'm talking about Module 7 homework discussion. Uh, so my answer to the first question of is the current population trends that we have had are indeed affecting the environment, the economic, and the culture that we have. In terms of the environment, it impacts the resource consumption. We now have an increased amount of resource consumption. Our habitat destruction has now increased even more, such as like the Amazon rainforest. Um, and we've lost biodiversity with it as well. Now, economically, we've had now a rapid population, and that has strained our infrastructure. We've had even more poverty, and because of the poverty, we now had an unequal distribution of the resources an unequal distribution of the resources. So culturally, we have a population growth, and that has changed the traditional practices and how we usually do things, and it has contributed to the urbanization of our world, and it's created conflicts and cultural diversity along with it. But a way that we can change it or help is by having have family planning, education, and economic opportunities, so we can mitigate these challenges and promote a balanced and equitable life and future for everybody. So in the next question, it talks about Gandhi's quote of, "The world has enough for everyone's needs, but not for everyone's greed." And the question that goes along with it asks if this applies to the face of current population growth. And I do believe it does, because we do have a vast amount of resources in our world, but because of people's greed, we are losing them rapidly and quickly. Found that in the year 2050, we'll be having around 10 billion people, and if everyone is as greedy as they are now, we will not have a world to live on, or a very rough way of living at the very least. And something that has been proposed by quite a few people is population control. The problem with population control is you have countries like China who have these very strict policies that are honestly very restraining of the human rights, because they restrain everyone from not having a kid, only one kid, and they want it to be a boy, and a lot of times the families will kick out or kill the girl, and which produces this gender inequality in China, which will actually cause further problems down the road, because they will now have an unequal amount of guys to girls, which can then cause more problems. And by having these unequal equality, it takes away the individual liberty of choosing what they want to have. A family could want more than one kid, but they don't get that option anymore there, because they aren't allowed to have any more kids. And that's the problem with the population control. Other solutions that we have, though, are things like providing an actual education to the countries that maybe have less education and they believe that having kids is the only way to live, or something along those lines. Having a truly sustainable waste management, not just a coffee shop having paper straws, but have people who enforce and come up with more ideas on how to sustainably deal with resources and waste. Have a more ethically sound consumption instead of wasting food and resources just because we don't want to use it anymore, but instead we use things to the fullest extent. Um, and just being more internationally cooperative with other countries, so that way we can focus on the one true problem of um, destroying our world, because there's no point in fighting amongst each other if we don't have a place to fight on. Um, yeah, that's all I got for you today, and thank you for your time.